What is up, guys? I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're covering r/am I the butthole. If you're new here, please consider hitting that like, that subscribe and maybe that notification bell too. And that is only if you enjoy the content, of course, otherwise click that dislike. And a huge thank you to each of the members of our channel. We're up to 50 plus members now and I'm just blown away by the support every single day. And we've got another new member today, Julia Emma. Thank you very much for joining us. You are truly appreciated, as well as the rest of the members of our channel. And don't forget, we're on podcast now, so you can pick me up on a podcast and take me with you anywhere you go. And if you want to support the channel, the links are down in the description below. We are both on YouTube and Patreon, where you can pick a different tier of support. It's all down to you. You don't have to support at all. You just being here is more than enough. And with that being said, let's get in to today's stories. Much love, guys. Our first story comes from a throwaway account. Am I the arsehole for refusing to stop having a relationship with my bio daughter because my girlfriend is uncomfortable? I've known my best friend Brenda since we were kids. I was the first person she came out to as a lesbian when we were in our senior year of high school and fully supported her. She met her current wife in college and they got married 6 years later. When I was 27, they both talked to me about wanting to start a family. They asked if I would consider being a sperm donor because they wanted someone they trusted rather than a stranger who'd be there when their children started to have questions about their donor. I was honoured that they thought of me and agreed to it. It felt good to help people I care about start their own family. We went through the whole process and a year later, Brenda gave birth to their daughter, Lucy, after Lucy Lawless, of course. Since she was born, I've always been present in her life and we have a great uncle/niece type of relationship. The three of us have been happy with how things are, and they are glad I'm close with Lucy. She's already been told how she came into the world, without the full details, and while she knows I helped build their family, I'm still Uncle Stephen to her. 3 years after she was born, I began dating my girlfriend. I didn't tell her about Lucy till 4 months in, and it took her time to process this, but she eventually came around. We've been together 3 years now and planning on getting married. Last week was Lucy's 6th birthday and we were both at their house. After cake was cut, we all started taking pics. I told my girlfriend to come so we could both get one with Lucy, but she said no. Didn't think nothing of it until I noticed she was distant and hardly interacting with anyone. We talked after we got home and she said she didn't feel comfortable with me seeing Lucy anymore because it felt weird that I donated sperm and now I'm playing a role in her life when donors don't do that. This was a shock to me because she never brought it up before. When I said I wasn't going to stop, she got frustrated and it became a huge fight. She didn't understand why I had to be in Lucy's life and it felt unfair that she had to share me with someone who's not my legal responsibility. At one point she asked if Brenda and I slept together and came up with a stoner idea to cover the fact that I knocked her up, and that's why I'm involved. I get we were both angry, but asking that was out of line. I told her I'd never cut off my relationship with them and left our apartment. She's still been trying to convince me for days to consider her feelings in all this. To her, it's unreasonable to choose a kid that'll never truly be mine over her, someone I can have a future and a family with. I feel bad that she feels this way, but it seems that she's not being fair either. It's been rough and I don't know who's right or wrong. She's making me feel like the bad guy here and I need a neutral party's help. Am I the arsehole? Straight into the comments with flamingos. Wow, your girlfriend is angry you have a relationship with your biological child. With a bunch of red flags. You are not the arsehole and you do not want to have any kind of permanent relationship with someone who would sever your ties to your biological child. Run and run now. Block Controller replies to this then. Came here to say run. Not a Crazy Cat Lady says me too and fly the red flag. Thank you for the upvotes. Yeah, I think this is going to be a failed relationship from the start. I mean, there's no way this guy's going to give up his biological child, even though he's considered like an uncle to her now. There's no way he's going to cut that tie. Not a chance, and it's really concerning that she's getting so jealous about it. What do you guys think of this story? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to vote on the poll in the description for story 1. Our next story is from another throwaway account. Am I the arsehole for punishing my sons and not the woman? I'm going to try and keep this short since frankly I'm exhausted. Any questions can and will be answered in the comments. Long story short, my family, 35 male, 12 male, 10 male, and I, 32 female, just recently moved into a new apartment complex. Our unit is at the very back of the building, at the back of the property, so behind us is just a wooded area. Nobody lives there. At the very back of our unit, and the one across from ours, is a small balcony that faces out towards this wooded area. Because of the way the building is constructed, you can't see onto another person's balcony unless you go to the stairs and lean over the railing. Otherwise, the wall blocks you. Across from our unit is a family of 4, a young looking mother, her husband and their 2 children, who are both under the age of 2. I haven't had the chance to introduce myself because I think one of their babies is a newborn, and honestly, Mama seems exhausted. Anyway, a couple of nights ago I made a horrific discovery. Went outside to call the boys in for dinner and found them both with their upper bodies flung over the railing, staring into our neighbour's balcony. I grab both by their pants and ask them what they think they're doing, and that's when I see it. From their vantage point, they could see straight into the neighbour's lady's balcony, where she was sat completely topless, with underwear on, listening to headphones. I was livid. Not with her, but with the boys. The way I see it, she's on her own personal property, where no one is supposed to be able to see, and not drawing attention to herself. Plus, if she's breastfeeding, I get not having a top or bra on. It's tedious to remove every few hours, and for every feeding in between. And who wears pants in their own house? Anyway, I digress. I pulled the boys in the house and took away their video games and phones until further notice, and told my husband immediately when he got home. But surprisingly, he was mad at me, saying boys would be boys and the lady should have some decency to wear clothes outside, and asked me to speak to her about it. I ripped him a new one and spent the night on the couch, after which he apologised, but the boys still seem upset with me. Am I the arsehole for punishing them but not saying anything to the neighbour? Now, before we even get into the comments, immediately when I was reading halfway through, I knew somewhere that boys would be boys line was going to turn up. And it's such a bullshit excuse. It pisses me off when I see that line. There's no way you can be mad at the neighbour for this. She's on her own house. If she wants to walk around butt bollock naked, she can. That's her choice on the... not bollocks, but... but what she can do what she wants on the property. God damn it. Now let's jump into the comments before I say anything else stupid. Hallowest Undead says, not the arsehole, good for you. Your husband is out of line and quite frankly acting in a manner that could give your sons the idea that it's okay just to get from women without respect for personal boundaries, whether it's looking or worse. A+ parenting from you, and thank you for respecting your neighbour. Edit, thank you so much for the awards. These are my first, I've only just learned how to comment on posts recently. Call of the Wildflowers replies, agreed, it's very disrespectful to women and I totally get her just wanting to relax and not feel like she's being watched. Plus, if the boys were flung over the rail, it sounds like it would have been pretty hard to see her normally and they had to strain to get a glimpse. Big, not the arsehole. And what do you guys think of this story? Do you think boys will be boys? Or do you think they're just totally out of fucking line? Let me know in the comments below and don't forget to vote on the poll in the description for story 2. Our next story is from the Gov82. Am I the arsehole for my reaction to my son coming out? I know the title sounds bad, but please bear with me. My son Will is 19 and is in his first year at uni. I have had a suspicion he was gay for a while, so it came as no surprise to me when he told me. I'm really not bothered one bit and I love him regardless. Since starting uni, he made a really close friend with Dan, a great kid who stayed with us a fair bit this last year. When lockdown came into force, he asked if Dan could stay with us so he didn't have to go back to Scotland, where he lived with his grandparents who had raised him and would be shielding. I agreed as I thought it was best Dan would be looked after rather than be alone in student housing. A couple of days ago, I decided to order a pizza for all of us, and I went to talk to the boys, who were in Will's room, about what they wanted to order. They both looked worried, and before they answered, Will said he had to tell me something. He told me he was gay and that he and Dan had been dating before the end of last year. I simply said, okay son, so what pizza do you want? Will went quiet, not saying anything. In the end, Dan replied for both of them and I ordered the food. Later my wife, who already knew and agreed to let Will tell me himself, told me she'd spoken to Will when she gave him the pizzas. She came down and asked why I acted the way I did, as it really upset Will, had even cried after I left his room. My wife said I was an arsehole for not being happy and left Will feeling as if I wasn't supportive of him, that I didn't care about him or even hated what he told me. This isn't the case at all. I just wanted to be calm with my reaction and show him coming out didn't bother me by carrying on as before. So am I the arsehole for not reacting right? Our first comment says, nah, just a misunderstanding. You should show your son that you're happy for him though. He probably needs to hear that. SO Raven says, okay, I think I may be a bad parent because the first thought I had would have been to say, so one vote for sausage. I agree with not the arsehole. And just maybe tell him what you shared here, so that he knows you're being supportive and not dismissive. You know, we had a wholesome coming out story yesterday, which I thought was pretty awesome. And I thought this was a pretty awesome way of reacting as well. Obviously it can come across in different ways to different people, but just not reacting and carrying on as normal, I think is a good way of dealing with it. But clearly he needed a bit more support than that. So I think just going back in this room and saying, son, who gives a shit? I love you anyway. Bring it in. Bring in a hug. What do you guys think of this story? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to vote on the poll in the description. And our next story is from Imagination Alarmed. Am I the arsehole for commenting on how big my pregnant wife is getting and for teasing her about her waddle when I am only joking? I meant no harm by any of this. In fact, I think she looks great and tell her this all the time. She is as desirable to me as she's ever been. It's just that sometimes it's hard for me not to comment on how big she is getting, since she has always been so thin and she still has 2 months left to grow. Our doctor has said our baby may end up being around 10 pounds, so you can imagine how big she is when her frame is 5'6". She has had a bit of a waddle for a while and I think it's cute. I sometimes will tease her about it by making noises or imitating how she walks. I didn't think she minded so much, but she went off on me yesterday. I told her I was only joking and thought she was as sexy as ever. I wish she would see how beautiful she was to me. I don't feel like I'm the arsehole for any of this, but am I wrong about that? Now there is an edit to this post, a kind of update, but we're going to go to the comments first and then come back. Farley Ford comments, you're the arsehole. Why do you feel the need to tease your wife when it's obviously upsetting to her? It's not enough she's carrying your child. Please apologise and stop teasing her. This bot is you says, I agree with you. OP should learn some manners. Also, weight is usually not something to joke about if you're mentioning to someone else. It's offensive regardless of the reason of their weight. Farley Ford replies, exactly. Even if she wasn't pregnant, it would be extremely rude. Then the OP's edit says, edits, I appreciate the comments from everyone. You were all right. I was way out of line and should never tease my wife, and especially not after she told me it bothered her. Before she went to bed tonight, I talked to her and apologised. I told her I never meant to hurt her, but regardless of what my intent was, I did hurt her and I was wrong to be so mean and thoughtless. I told her that there was no excuse for my behaviour. Having more time to reflect on it, was embarrassed and ashamed by how I acted. What I did isn't a reflect of the type of partner I want to be to her. I asked her to forgive me with the understanding that I won't tease her anymore. We'll do a better job paying attention and listen to her when she expresses that something I am doing bothers her. And we'll spend more time focusing on being a supportive partner and preparing to be a good father and husband. I also repeated what I've told her before, which is that I feel very lucky to have her as my wife and a mother of my child, not just because of her physical looks, which are beautiful to me as today as they have ever been, but also because of who she is as a person and how much I admire her character. She seemed really happy with the apology and accepted. I also may have partially bribed her with her favourite ice cream. But I know I need to follow through with my promises and will make sure I am a better partner going forward. The power of Reddit people. What do you guys think of this story? Even though I had a happy ending, but let's say, what do you think of this story before the edit? Let me know in the comments below and don't forget to vote on story 4 in the poll in the description. Our next story comes from a throwaway account. Am I the arsehole for telling my friends and family that we still expect gifts even though we aren't getting married anymore? I can tell where this one's going to go already, guys. So my girlfriend and I were supposed to get married in November of this year. The whole thing happened and we cancelled our date after talking about it for a long time. We decided there was no reason to get married after all. A marriage won't make us a stronger couple either way. We're going to stay together without tying each other together by law. It makes more sense that way. Anyway, I announced this on Facebook a few days ago and said that we still expect the same gifts we were going to get at the wedding. Some of our friends and families have not taken kindly to that for some reason. I've gotten a bunch of lols and yeah right comments from these people. It's annoying because us not getting married doesn't change anything. We're still a couple and require the gifts and money that we're set to receive. I replied to a few people but the responses have all been negative and it's stressing me out. I wrote another post today that said, if you don't honour your commitment to us, don't expect us to honour anything for you. I turned off my notifications and haven't checked Facebook yet. Did I go too far? Am I an arse here? This has got to be a fucking troll post, right? This can't be real. This can't be someone actually thinking this. That will blow my mind. My head will literally explode if this is true. But let's go to the comments and I can imagine you know where these are going already. Jessie May 321 says, "You're the arsehole. If you aren't going to follow the tradition, then the tradition doesn't apply. How can you expect wedding gifts with no wedding?" Bluebird says, "This." Texas World replies, "You're the arsehole." Then quotes, "We're no longer celebrating Christmas, but we still expect you to give us a present on December 25th. You can still be committed without being married, just don't expect other people to gift you for existing in a relationship." Me and My Insanity says, "You're the arsehole, but I really hope this is a troll." Me too. They're wedding gifts. No wedding, no gifts. It's fairly simple logic. They don't have any commitment to get you gifts and money just because. What do you guys think of this story? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to vote on the poll in the description. Wow. What a roller coaster. Anyway guys, I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, there's another one on your screen as we speak. And as always, a huge thank you to the members of our channel. You're truly appreciated. And for everyone for the time of your day, it's just absolutely amazing just recently. Thank you very much for being here, and I will see you in the next one. Take care now. Much love.